we are back to cover our base journal cover. And I've put, hopefully, a little bit clearer the measurements of the journal cover. Now I haven't put these here because I realised that they're not really going to work very well. I could probably get away with these ones because I haven't taken too much off the side. But this one, yeah, that's not going to work. It really isn't going to work. Because even if I were to glue that, it would be a weak spot. And then I've narrowed down the space that I could put tags and things in. So it's a bit silly, really. But I can fix it. Not a problem. So what I'll be doing on this one is I'll be taking this off because I've decided what I'm going to put there. So I don't need a pocket. And this one here, I'm going to cut it down and then put a straight piece across, an embellished piece there. So that's how I'm going to resolve that. You could also just put some paper across and make straight pockets, or stick some music paper or something down and make pockets that way. I mean, you can do whatever you like, really. For pockets, you don't actually have to use this folded bit. It's just as handy when you've got a piece of card big enough to make those pockets. Okay, so hopefully now you've got all those measurements. Quickly run through it. 11 centimetres across, 13.5 centimetres across, 12 centimetres across and 5.5 centimetres across. And there they are equivalent, 21.5 centimetres tall. Okay, so I'm going to take those off now. And I thought what we'd start with is a bit of a play with some gesso and make a mess with some paint. So I've got a range of things here. I've got just cheap standard gesso, white gesso, and I've got some super heavy gesso, which I'll probably use instead of texture paste or modelling paste because I just find it easier to work with. I've got a trusty old card to scrape the gesso on. I've got a couple of sprays. I haven't got many in my stash really, but might not use them. But these Lindy's Starburst sprays are really nice. They've got like a little glitter in there. So I've got a sort of a greeny and a vintagey, what do they call it? Steampunk sepia and rusty lantern lime. I've got some watered down acrylic paint, and that's like a sage green colour. I got some Kofi in there, and I've got some gilding polish. I've got 2 bottles of water. I'm not sure which one to use, might not use them at all. And also I've got some stencils. So because I've now decided to swap and do Botanical halfway through videoing, nothing like changing your mind, is there? So I've picked out some of my stencils that are vaguely botanical-ish and are reasonably heavy duty to cope with me. As you can see, I don't really look after my stencils very much, but they still work fine. And that's probably one of my favourite ones actually. So yeah, make a decision on that. What I want to do is I want to go around all the edges, and then on the front here I thought I might have a play with that and do some stenciling on it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, because I can always put something on top. And you'll notice I've sort of written things on there because that corresponds to the backing papers that I plan to use. But I'm not going to show you those until I've decided whether this is going to work out or not. So we'll see. We'll have a play. We'll have a play. Now I'm looking for my rag. Where's my rag? Favourite top here. And a paintbrush. I'm gonna dry it because it's been soaking in water. I've got some packaging paper because I will make a mess, and all I'm going to do to start is, so this is the inside, and in the inside all I need to do is go around the edges because I've got pages and I'm not going to put any much bulk in here, so I'm just going to go along the edges. I don't mind it being brown, but I thought it'd be nice just to have some fun and make a mess on camera. I could probably take that flap off, but I don't know, I think I'll cover the flap and then maybe I can create something on it and use it instead of wasting it. Okay. A lot of this will be covered up. It doesn't stop you having fun. And I'd encourage you to have fun in your crafting and let go a little. Okay, I'm going to dry this off. I think that's dry enough. Seems to be okay. A little bit damp, but dry enough to do the next bit, which is I'm going to try some diluted coffee. I don't really want it white, so I'm just going to put that on there and give it a good coating. And then I'm going to try some of this Distress Oxide spray and just comes out so quickly. Okay, let me dry this off and we'll come back for a little bit of colour. While I was off camera I did just go along the middle there, but I'm going to strengthen that up with fabric. Hopefully I will remember to do that before I put my backing pieces on, but there's no guarantee with these things. But anyway, I have covered it just in case you don't plan to strengthen your spines, but I really would encourage it because they will be a weak spot. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So at the moment it's looking rather grungy. I'm thinking botanicals, earthy colours. You get my drift. Okay, let's try some of this Lindy's Rusty Lantern Lime. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that's lovely and green. So I'm just focusing along the edge because that's all you're going to see, if anything. Ooh, I like that. That's nice, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to dry it off. Okay, that's almost dry. It's quite subtle. I like it, but I want a bit more green. So I'm going to go with my sage green acrylic, watered down acrylic paint. Ah, yeah. Okay, so that's pretty opaque. I'm going to put some on those bits as well so I can use them. I think what I might do is the smooching method of folding this over, giving it a good smoochy over. Ooh, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. Probably put a little bit too much paint there. It's definitely green, isn't it? You can tell I'm doing botanical now for sure. Right, I'm going to dab this off a little bit. And what have I got here? Have I got some kitchen roll? There you go. Hold of it. stamping it down. So I could always put more gesso on if I didn't like what I'd done, and I could also spray it with more coffee. But I think that's okay, and I'll dry it off. Final thing I want to do is add some gold. I'm just going to put that on the edges. When you do some mixed media like this, it does tend to weaken what you're painting on, your substrate. So I'm going to be using mainly backing papers on this, which will give it some strength. You can see it's sort of all bending up, and you can see here already it's starting to split a little bit, so I'll definitely need to strengthen the spines. There's always ways to fix things. Put some gold on this, just in case I end up using it. Nothing goes to waste in crafting life, is it? Nothing goes to waste. And once you start putting gold on, it's really hard to stop. Oh, I could do this all day. Okay, that's probably enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to go all around the edges. But where I've got that, which I've rubbed out, which is the front, I'm going to put a really thick layer of gesso on there, and that's where I'm going to do my stenciling. So I'm going to get on with that and then come back when it's all nice and dry and we can see how I get on. So this is what the front cover looks like, and ooh, I've got dirty fingers. What I wanted to say before I forget is that you totally do not have to go and do this. You can, as I'm going to do with the rest of this, just go ahead and cover it with music paper, book page covers, book pages, digital kits, and that's what I'm planning on doing. So for instance, I was going to do this on the front, and I've got this on standby just in case it all goes horribly wrong. And for this one I am going to use that as the cover, and then I've got various pieces that let's see, so C is there, C will go there, and A will go there, and I think that will go there, and then because this is a pocket, I've then got this piece that goes there. So you get what I'm saying. You really don't have to go through all this messy mixed media, but if you want to have a bit of fun and play with some paints, then follow along. Okay, we are going to give this bit a go. Probably put about 5 layers of gesso on this, and it's quite rough. There's a bit of texture to it, and what I did was I just, every time I put some gesso on there, I just dabbed the gesso with kitchen roll, and you just got a hint of green. I can always add more green later if I want to, but I want to get the stencil on to see if it works. In hindsight, and what I'll do for the steampunk cover is I will do all this messy bit on a piece of card and then mount the card onto the frame, onto the journal cover. But I didn't think of that at the time doing this, so I'm going to have to be brave, put my big girl pants on, find my stencil, and give it a go. And this is the one I'm going to do. Now I think I want it to go that way. And I am just going to see how it goes, suck it and see, not worry about it. If it doesn't work out, if it comes out horrible, I can just scrape it off and stick something else down. Or even try again. Let's be brave. And away we go. So I'm just using, this is a bus pass actually. I'm just scraping the super heavy gesso, and I'm actually going over quite a bit of the edge, so I'll probably have to redo the edge at some point, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep on going, and this will actually take quite a while to dry. Even though it's not modelling paste, it still takes ages before it's fully dry. Right. I'm trying to get it fairly even. And not have any holes. I would like it to work because I just think it's nice to do something different when you're crafting. Ooh, okay. I'm just looking for areas. Now what tends to go wrong with stencils is that the gesso seeps through. And just the big reveal. Do, do, do. Come on. Oh, there's a bit of seepage there. But that's not too bad. That's not too bad, is it? I think we can get away with that. What do you reckon? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Let me just put this down somewhere. I'm just thinking now, is there a way I can just clean those little bits off? What do you think? I'm just looking to see what I've got around me and what I could use. I've got my bone folder here. Oh, I don't know, I haven't really got a very good hand. Cotton bud probably be a good job for this. I haven't got any of those. I really don't want to go in there much. I'm probably going to make it worse. Yeah, I think I'm just being a bit pedantic now. So I'm going to, oh look at that one. That's a bit rough, isn't it? It'll probably be covered anyway with what do we call it? Fabric. But I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to scrape it off. I'm going to trust the process, let it dry, see what it comes out like, and then worry about it. I think that's the best option, isn't it? Let's get rid of some of this. And yeah, we'll see if we keep it or not. But I'm definitely not putting the other one directly on to the cover because it's too stressful. You don't really need it either because you could just easily just mount something on there and not worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Let's wait and see this dries and then we'll make a decision on whether we keep it or not. This is where I'm at with my Botanical mini journal. And I'm quite pleased with that. I'm happy. At the moment, I'm not going to do anything more to it besides maybe grunge up the edges. I think if I try and add more mixed media to it, it's just going to get messy. I may add a little bit of lace later. We'll see how that goes. But right now, it's looking okay. I'm happy. But as I said, I think in an earlier part of this, I wouldn't go directly onto this again. No siree. Next thing I need to do is strengthen the spines, front and internal. And I might... No, I don't need to do that because that's not going to be moving. But I am going to do the spines. And I'm also going to take that out because I don't need it. It is superfluous to what I have planned for the internal part there. So let's just get rid of that so I can use it then for something else. I'm keeping this bit though because I'm going to attach a cluster piece on there, which will make it a bit more practical, although I probably won't use all of it, but we'll leave that there for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same packaging tape as I used for the steampunk journal on the inside, and then on the front I'm going to use some material. So I'm just going to pop that on. There we go. I think I need to re-ink my walnut stain pad. Right, what did I have planned for here? I can't remember now. There's some pretty lace. It would look nice there, wouldn't it? I don't think it's gonna strengthen it anything much though. It's quite stretchy though, I don't know, will that be? Maybe not. I think I'll go with the Old Faithful. Well, definitely on this anyway. Yeah, I'll go with this, which is pillowcase. That hasn't ripped very well, look. That will go down there. And for this one, I think I will just use something thin, but I don't really need something as delicate as that. What have I got here? I've got some of that. I think that's too thick. I've got my Old Faithful here. Yeah, that's what I think I prefer to use. But what I need to do is just, yeah, I'm going to have to go over it. That edge, I didn't think about that when I did the... Yep. Before I make a decision, what about... Is that? Yeah, I think I prefer that. Let's just cut some of that off out the way. I got this from Amazon ages and ages ago. this was from the airing cupboard in the bathroom. Right. I'm just going to use to put it in place, and then I'm going to leave it dry, and then I am going to sew it, because I want to make sure that it sticks. Well, not sticks, but that it's secure and that it holds. And on this bit, what I'll do is I'll probably sew in the middle there, and probably there, but I'm not going to sew on top of this. Just got glue all over this now. Just wipe it off before it attracts a ton of dirt. Make sure it's straight. I have got my little piece of a pocket. Somewhere. Yeah. That's going to go there. So what I need to do, and I think I'll just, I'm going to leave it like that. So I need to cut this off, and I'm going to sew around that as well, because that will give it some stability. That off. Might come in handy. And so this is from another project. I'll just glue in the middle. Now what I've got to think of is, I wasn't planning on sewing here, so this is going to need some quite amount of glue. So what I'll probably need to do is, once I've sewn there to secure it, I'll probably use Fabri-Tac to glue down the sides, and then I'll have to put it under some books or with bulldog clips and keep it really, really sturdy there for some time. Right, before I go to the machine, I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do, and I'll glue it off camera because I know you know how to glue. I am going to glue that like that. So that's going to go there. And let's have a look at my pieces I've got sitting here. And that is going to go there like that. Okay. And then that is going to go there like that. I think lace would look nice there, wouldn't it? That's going to go there before I glue it, like that. And this is the second part of the front. And that's going to have my favourite piano piece put on it there. Normally I would sew around these, and I'd sew it directly onto the cover, but my sewing machine is just on such a mare. Okay, so that's that, and then we've just got the back piece here, which will go on like that. So once I come back, I will have had all this glued on, and we can see what needs to be done then, and I can show you what I'm planning on putting in the middle. Okay, so that's that. I'm just going to leave, well, do I put some lace in there now? What do you think? Because I have got some beautiful lace, but it'll get covered up. What's the problem? I could, no, I don't want to cut that in half. I've got these bits. Oh, I think it'll be wasted. I think I'd rather embellish these bits and just keep this plain. Oh, I've got to make that decision before I sew. I've got some lovely pieces here. Even brown, I think brown would look really nice. So I've got this, where's my... Ah, that'd look really nice, wouldn't it? It's quite botanical, isn't it? Have I got any more of that? I've got that. That's pretty too, isn't it? Oh, decisions, decisions. It would look really nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm going to go for it. Okay, leave that dry. Oh yes, the other thing I was going to do off camera is, because I need to sew it, just pop these to one side a second. So one of Rachel's 100-day challenges, and as part of the collaboration, we did some masterboard mixed media. So my pieces are, I didn't like the sort of finished piece, so I cut it up straight away. So I've just stuck it onto some tea stained paper. So I'm going to cut around that. I'm going to cut around there, and I'm going to sew as well. Just to make sure that they stick down, because they're quite, yeah, you can see they're curling up. So I'll do that off camera, and then when I come back on camera we'll have a look at what I need to do in terms of embellishing, because I haven't got any clusters or anything, so I need to make some of those. So I'll be back shortly. As you can see, my desk is covered in stuff, and that's because I want to do some scrappy clusters. But before I do that, I wanted to show you how I got on. I'm still having issues with my sewing machine, unfortunately, so there's quite a bit of poor sewing, and I blame myself, but it does seem to be having quite a problem. But so we've got a couple of the tags here, and I've just sewn around the edges and just put some paper ruffles on the top there, sewn around the edges. Haven't decided what I'm going to put on top yet. And then my journal, mini journal, inadvertently, oh, my light has just gone. Inadvertently, I've pretty much covered all of my mixed media, which really wasn't the intention. So I'm a little bit miffed with myself about that, and there's not much I can do about it. So in here then I've put the middle in because something's going to go on top of there. I've got my pocket, that's quite narrow, another pocket there. I like the lace there, I think that looks really nice. That's the inner front cover, which I really like. And there's my stencil, my stenciled rose, and that's the back ready to put something on there. Now what I don't like is that there, the cut off between that and that. Don't ask me why. And I got to keep in mind the closure. It's going to be a really simple closure, and it's just going to wrap around. But what I'm thinking is that that would go quite nice. Actually, I think it needs to go like that. That would go quite nice along there. And it breaks that up a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to fabric-tack that within an inch of its life. There's no way I'm putting it through the sewing machine because I just don't know how it's... Well, actually I can't because it's going to affect that there. You think of these things after the event. Okay, so I'm going to do that really quickly and just hope it looks okay. Right, I might have to tidy up those little pieces there around the flower, which I'll do with some decent fussy cutting scissors, but there we are. I think that's okay. You can still see the flower, and I think that looks better, even though it's still not straight. Anyway, I'm going to let that dry and try not to play with it too much, and set my desk up for making some scrappy clusters. Oh, be back soon. Okay, got my light back working. And I just set up whatever space I could muster on the desk. Some of it might actually be off camera, but starting with my bases for the scrappy clusters, and I got all manner of stuff everywhere which I'll just start piling on, and I'll obviously speed up while I do this, but I just thought it might be nice to just share the process of what I do. And I've just got a mixture of printed music paper that I had spare, some proper music paper, book pages, and some other bits of scrap left from different projects. So I'm just going to crack on. What I also want to do as well is to make different sized ones as well. So I've got some small, I've got some tall. And this may not be the first batch, but certainly this is my process, and I just want to show you how I get on with it. So we'll crack on. I think that's it for now. What I'm going to do, and I'll do this off camera because it's going to bore you to death otherwise, is I'll ink around all the main parts and glue them down. Do a little bit of sewing where I need to, and then come back and finish off the embellishing. And just to note that a lot of the little tickets here, like this one and this one, what else here? This and this one and that one, they were all made as part of one of Rachel's 100 days challenge, where we used a masterboard and then just did a mass stamping session, which was really good fun, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I'm going to come back and then I'll show you what they look like once they're all glued and sewn. Here are my tags all sewn around, and I do think they are better because as I explained previously, there is some issues with the masterboard that I did because of the glue I used before I did the mixed media on there. So if I hadn't stuck the backs down, I would have sewn around some of the elements as well, but it was a bit too late for that. I also had some issues with my sewing machine, which has continued to plague me, and I think my sewing machine needs to go on holiday or something because it's not happy. But here are my base tags that I really want to use for this project. I also did some sewing on the clusters that I made on camera last, and again you can see I've had some issues with sewing. Did some very basic stitching around or down with these, and I didn't put any focal elements on there because I want to have a look at them on the items before I do that. But some of them I you know, are really pretty, and I really do like I've used little pieces of the packaging paper that I was using to make a lot of mess for the steampunk mini journal. So those are the clusters I made on screen, and I also made a couple off screen, just really small ones, just to go on the smaller elements in the mini journal. Again, I've mainly used Rachel and Bella's digital kits or elements that I've made during the 100 days challenge. So that's that lot. And then what I wanted to show you is basically all the goodies I've got, because I have been following Rachel and Bella Crafts. So I've got lots of things that I can use to add to this project. So I've got, I've made my own photo frames to add. I've generally used templates there and just added photos from the kits that Rachel has given us. And here I just made a photo frame from just strips of a book page. I've made some strips which are really good for pockets, or I can add them to tags, and I really love the colours of these, which I think will lend themselves really well to the botanical theme. We made tag pockets. Well, these are actually tags with hidden journaling space, but sorry, these are the tag pockets, which are great. So you just sort of sew them, and then that becomes the pocket. So I made quite a few of those, so I might use one or two of those as tags with little embellishments inside them. So I've got loads of those to play with. I will list below the days that represent these projects as well, but for most of them I really can't remember. There's only a couple I remember. I made some these tags actually are what inspired me to do the colour scheme for this, which is why I've ended up doing Botanical. I just love these tags. They're probably my favourite tags ever. So I made these as part of this tutorial by Rachel, which is simple pockets using up our book pages, and she showed us how to strengthen the pockets as well. And I just used it on the back of packaging, and then these tags went in there. So if this one's quite thin, so I might be able to use this one, but this one's a bit heavier, so I might not be able to use that. That was day 30, I believe. And this one, then I'm going to use this in the project. I think this was day 19, and it's a pocket, but when you pull it loose, you've got some hidden journaling space. So I love that. So I'm going to use this as well, and I'm going to add some pockets to that. So I'll see where that fits in the mini journal. So day 19 for that one. We made these lovely, I can't even remember what they're called now, but they're little journaling books. That one needs to be glued on there. And their pockets as well. So you've got little mini journaling books. I'm hoping, I can't remember the day this one was made, but I will link it below. I'm hoping that I can actually use these in the projects again. I mean, especially this one, I just love the colour scheme. Oh, just in love with green. But you can fit a lot of ephemera in there, and because I've used vellum, it's very thin, so I'm hoping to use one or two of those. And there was also this project as well, which is like a waterfall, and it just, well, it's like a waterfall, pockets, it's just pockets everywhere, and then you sort of flip it, and you flip it, you flip around it, there's just pockets everywhere. So I'll see if I can use that. I may not be able to, but we'll give that one a go. The other thing we've made as part of Rachel's 100-day challenge is franken paper. And I've got some here that I would like to use in the journal part of my mini journal. I just need to cut it down. And I've got my signature ready, but again, it's just a little bit big for this project. So I'm going to cut it down, and I may incorporate this one as well. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's a lovely kit. This is the Shades of Spring kit from RachandBella Crafts. So, this is what this is looking like so far. I've tidied it up a little bit. I've still got to figure out how to do the closure, and as always I leave that to last and then panic because I can't do anything. And of course I was thinking of putting an eyelet in there. Now the eyelet won't be a problem, but the way I tie the twine will be, so I'll have to have a think about that. I've got this that I need to decorate a little bit more. Just add some botanical elements to it, because originally this was going to be shabby chic, and yeah, it's not shabby chic. It's definitely not shabby chic. I want to add some butterflies, I want to add some flowers, I want to add some die cuts. Now I'm going to do that off camera because I'm seriously running out of time. I've got to get everything uploaded in the next 24 hours, and I need to do an intro video to this collaboration. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do a lot of this off camera, come back and show you the tags and what I've decorated and how I've placed them in there, and then hopefully that will just inspire you and give you some ideas to do in your own work. Here's my finished mini journal, and it's turned out quite chunky. I am not going to do a full flip through at this stage because that'll be in the main collaboration video. I just wanted to give you a quick run through of some of the things that I've been doing off camera. I opted for the easy closure option because it's the easiest closure option I could think of in the time that I have available, and often it is the resources that we've got to hand, be that materials, equipment, fabric, time, money. We all have limitations, and you've got to go with them. You really have just got to go with them. So this is the coin envelope, which detaches, I should say, from the main cover, and I've kept that plain, and I really do like it plain. I could always add something to it. I've got plenty of bits and bobs left here that I could play around with, but really at this stage I'm very happy with it. Open it up, and I've got some I've got an encyclopedia, beautiful butterflies there, encyclopedia page, just a couple of simple tags. I had to be careful in what I was including because it was getting very bulky, so I've just made a really simple notebook there, used my clusters, and use one of Rachel's envelopes, which I haven't quite finished yet. I need to put a little button on there when I find my button. Can't find it. Somewhere here, can't find it. And I did a belly band on the Franken page. So if I just take those out a second, you can see the belly band there on the on this sewn page. And then inside I've used a pocket and one of my tags, and I used one of the clusters, and in the clusters I've just left it as a little pocket that, and put in some of the photographs. Very simple pages. Could always embellish these if I had time. That's what I would do. I'd probably add some more paper ruffles to the edges, maybe a couple, I might make a couple of small clusters. I did think about putting another pocket on there, but honestly it's getting too bulky. So this attaches there, which I haven't attached at the moment, but I've left it unattached. I could glue the back, but I think for the sake of the writing part of the journal, I'm just going to leave it in there because it stays in there fine. And I've just used some of my tags. That's one of the embellished tags from the masterboard, and I've just made a simple photograph there and one of the other tags, and so that just goes in there. And then that just slips back down there, which I'll probably try and tidy up a bit later. There we go, on there. And in here then, so I've added one of my, well, this should be a belly band, but I've stuck it down because it was just a perfect size. I didn't have to cut it or anything, it just went down, so I was really happy with that. And in here then I've got some more photographs. I've just added some dried flowers there, and I've just put simple embellishments on there like that. Okay, just had a bit of a play there. Let's put that back in carefully. Ooh, over flowers. Okay. Oh, I just love that. And then when I come to the back, again, I haven't attached this because I think it would be better if you're going to use this as a journal. So I've just got a clip there. And then I've not done much to this at all. I've just added some tags and another tag there. And I've managed to just about fit this in. And I've put some tags, some of my tags in there as well, which I'll show in the other video. And that's it really. Yeah, so it's been great, and I hope you'll enjoy the full flip through and the first video of the well, my part of the collaboration. And I hope you've enjoyed some of these very quick tutorials, and if you do like them, please think about have a think about leaving a nice comment or some constructive feedback. I don't mind that either. And thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.